This is Hebron, known to Palestinians as the city of Al-Khalil. This is the West Bank's largest and most populated city. Hebron is dubbed by Israel as Hebron's smart city, where the apartheid state tests its draconian surveillance technology on the Palestinian population as part of what is called the Wolfpack surveillance system. This is a vast database that includes all information about each and every single Palestinian, including where they live, work, go to school, who their family members are, and if they are wanted for questioning. Palestinians in Hebron are the most surveilled people on the planet.
And wherever I go as Palestinian.
Check that out. So, as we can see, they have a whole observation network set up for the Palestinians in the city of Hebron. What I find ironic is that if you ever watch a movie called Schindler's List, you can see how the Germans, they packed all the Jews into these areas of the city, which are called ghettos. All right, black folks, you don't live in a ghetto. That's a Jewish neighborhood. That's a ghetto, is a Jewish neighborhood. And they kept them under surveillance, regular raids, kept them moving around, blah, blah, blah. In other words, they do everything to destabilize the life. The Nazis did everything they could to destabilize the life of the Jews, whether they were mainly in Poland and in Germany. All right? So it's ironic that the people who say never forget and claim they suffered all of this abuse under the hands of the Germans, they drum that into your ear year after year after year, instituting the same tactics at a higher level, the same Nazi tactics that were used to suppress them and their behavior and their lifestyles during World War II. All right? The same shit that they cry about is what they're doing to a population inside the borders of their own state. But nobody sees the irony in all this bullshit. Nobody wants to talk about this irony that then they are implementing tactics that the Nazis would be proud of against the Palestinians.
I can see there's cameras, but those cameras, it will never make me innocent. But something very important, what make me feel uncomfortable, while I'm crossing through the checkpoint, the soldier asked me to look at the camera.
Izzat Karaki is a Palestinian activist with Youth Against Settlements, a non-violent direct action group that educates Hebron's youth on how to resist occupation and apartheid through media and advocacy work. During my visit here, I was immediately struck by the dozens, if not hundreds, of cameras dotting each street. These cameras are installed by the Israeli military on light posts and on the rooftops and sides of buildings. These are face-scanning cameras called Red Wolf to help Israeli soldiers identify Palestinians at checkpoints, even before Palestinians present their ID cards to cross through. These cameras are also used to monitor Palestinians' movement and daily life. Soldiers then use the Blue Wolf app directly from their smartphones to access the Wolfpack database on Palestinians. I was likely automatically enrolled in the Wolfpack surveillance database by the face-scanning cameras, biometric entries in the database, and if you're new here like I am, it enrolls you automatically.
So now, check it out. If you're in one of these black cities, these quote unquote black cities, Baltimore, New York, Newark, New Jersey, Atlanta, you'll find that every now and then they'll announce that your police are going to training in Israel. Why would you train civilian police in Israel? This is what they're learning, fam. They're learning to suppress the population. All right? They are militarizing the police. The police should not be going to Israel for any training whatsoever. Because everything the Israelis are doing as far as military and control of their population is basically warmed over Nazi techniques, modern Nazi techniques. See? This is how your boy Zelensky can be a Jew and still have the Azov battalion and these other various battalions in Ukraine, which are straight up Nazis, and work with them. There's obviously a connection here. We know that there were Jewish Nazis. Yes, there were. We know that during the transfer agreement that the people of quote unquote Palestine, the Jews in Palestine, were working with the Nazi government in what was called, if you get the book called The Transfer Agreement, you can study this. And they raised money for the Nazis. Goebbels came in, they minted a coin, one flag, one side the Star of David, the one side the swastika. You can find this coin. There's pictures of it all over the internet. All right, it's game, man. It's game. There's something else going on, and you really look at it. And all we dealing with, they call it an apartheid system. That's what they're using it because everybody can recognize what's going on with the apartheid system in South Africa. Blah 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 blah. But the point I'm trying to make is, they want to implement these same tactics all over the world. And this, what you call Palestine, this Israel thing, is nothing but a testing ground for this equipment that they roll out on the Palestinians, perfect on the Palestinians, and sell on the open market for population suppression all over the world. Like I tell you before, these ain't nothing but trade shows. These wars are trade shows. They're showing how well they can use their equipment to suppress, destroy, control, and then they put their weapons of war on the market for sale. Oh, those things, Patriots, work real well in Ukraine. This worked real well in Rafah. This worked real well in Lebanon. See? You're getting this all twisted. These ain't wars. These are trade shows. Right? To have war, you got to have somebody worthy of resistance. You got to have a resistant counterbalance in the efforts of war. Hamas is not equal to the IDF. All right? Hamas was started by the Israelis and the USA. We've got the papers by the generals telling you this stuff. It's public knowledge as a counterbalance to Yasser Arafat and the PLO. That's all it was. So don't go for the Israeli okie doke. All right? Israel is not a Jewish state, number one. Israel is a secular state. Israel is not a democracy like you. Well, first of all, most of these governments, there's no real democracies in the world, actually. These are republics. Democracy is a trick bag. That's a whole nother story, fam. But I just wanted to show you this right quick because look at what's going on and look at it, and they're going to implement these. They're already doing it in China. A lot of these surveillance tactics were used in China for the COVID lockdowns, and they're going to bring a lot of these surveillance tactics to your cities, all right, to lock you down. All right, yo, I'm out, man. Dr. She's out. Peace.